Hello, my name's Billy with Lux RV. We're going to do a little rundown video with you. Might not be able to cover everything, but we're going to try to do our best. So basically what I do is we start with our panel because that's the most important. It's got all your functions on it, and we'll do a little rundown with that. We'll walk around the outside, a few pointers on the outside for you. Since we have a delivery video instead of delivering it to you. So basically everything says what it is on here. You go to your generator. If you want to fire it up from the inside, you'll want to prime it for 20 seconds, then hit your start, and then once you hit your start to shut it off, you just hit the same button. It'll say stop once you start it. So that's the generator. Awnings, same thing. In and out functions, your lights on there, just click the button, turn on and off. Awnings, just hit in or out for whichever way you want it to go. Slide outs. So basically what we're doing a rundown on is a 47, which is basically the same as your 45. So in and out, pretty simple. Cable slides are your bedroom and your vanity, and your bottoms are your mechanisms. Your lighting, every light can be turned on and off manually. Accents to awnings, everything that's in here. You can dim your lights if you need to. If you don't like how bright they are, every one of them on here is dimmable, and you can select which ones you want on and off. The ramp awning on your rear, I believe you have one, pretty sure you do. Same thing, just in and out. Your triggers are your tank heaters. So when it starts to get cold, probably under 45 degrees, you'll want to kick those on, just hit it on. You'll hear a trigger, you'll be able to hear that in your coach actually turn on itself. That way you can get some heat to your tanks so they don't freeze while you're using your unit if it's not winterized. Your climate, every mode. So we'll go ahead and just shut it off, and then I'll go through the mode. So right now the garage is off. You got your fan mode, you can turn it high or low. Your cool mode, you can put it on auto because you have heat pumps in your front living room and your bedroom, so you can turn that on fan, high and low, auto. And then let me go to the kitchen because that way I can show you the heat pumps. So if you have it on auto, you can actually use your heat pumps on that also. So you have electric for your heat pumps. And then or gas for your furnaces, depending on what you want to use. If it gets under 40 degrees, you're going to want to use gas. If it's above 40, you can use your electric, which are your heat pumps that run through the ceiling off your ACs. And then you can set what temperature you'd like it at. It tells you what it is inside at the bottom and what temperature you want it to be set at. You can set a schedule if you would like when you turn them on and off, or you can just leave them where you want them. And normally we just leave that on auto. That way it keeps it at a certain temp. Your fans will kick on for your heat if it starts cooling down too much at night when you're sleeping. The settings, all your passcode, your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, your floor plan, everything's in here. And that's where you set up everything for your phone app. All that software is in here. And then it just tells you what your battery is at, your water pump on or off, interior lights. So when it comes to your interior lights, you can turn them all off with this button or all on with this button. Your exterior lights and your security lights, which are the long 6-inch lights, are your security lights. Your exterior lights are the ones on the bottom around your jacks. And then the button up top is your camera. If you're traveling, you want to leave that up so the camera's on at all times. That way when you're traveling down the road, you can actually use your monitor in your vehicle to switch to every camera on your coach, or the function of all the cameras on at once. Down below is your black tank 1 and 2 if you have a rear bathroom. I'm not sure if you do because I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can switch to black tank 1 or 2, and so you can see your black on each one to see if they're empty or full or what it is at. So this one don't have a rear bathroom, so that is open on tank 2. That's what. Then the other tank is tank 1, and it has 6 gallons of water in it right now. So basically that's most of your functions on the front side. On the inside, you go through our touch pads. Your bathroom's pretty simple. That's where we're going to go next. The functions in here, you should have a Fantastic remote and a touch pad. So your Fantastic remote automatically turns on once you open. You just turn it on. You can set the speeds, how fast the fan you want to go, or you can slow it down if you don't want it too fast, too loud, whatnot. And then just go ahead and turn it off. You can blow the air in. I don't recommend, because that could bring in from by the stink pipe by the bathroom. It can bring in the stink. So not recommended air in unless your tanks are empty. You're not venting yourself up with that. So the bathroom touchpad, you can turn your hallway lights on and off, your water pump if need be, if it was off and you're in the bathroom and you're holding it hooked to your tank with no city fill, and your ceilings in the bathroom, your soffit light in your bathroom, and your accent lights in your bathroom. So that's just basically the inside of the bathroom with your water pump and the hallway lights. So pretty self-explanatory on the bathroom. Your sink and your shower, hot and cold. Then to the bedroom. So the bedroom has a same thing, touchpad for your bedroom ceiling lights. These are also dimmable by this touchpad. If you don't want them too bright, on and off, your overhead, bedroom soffit, your closet accent lights, which is all the way in the front, and your hallway also. If you just want to turn that light on, if you have to go to the bathroom at night, just flip that on. That's the only one that you need on, and all your interior lights are on that. So if you get to bed and you're like, oh, I forgot to shut off the lights, you can turn all the lights off in the coach from the bedroom. So basically touchpads on that. Both sides of the bed have a 110 and 2 outlets for chargers. Your closet, I'm not sure on the front, but basically should be about the same as this one. I don't know if your washer and dryer's in the front or the rear. This model has the dressers up front with the shoe rack, closet rod, and the accent lights are on that touchpad for these. TV, all your remotes for your TVs are in your black bag that are in the top cabinet above your dinette. So if you did have a extra slide like this one does, I believe you did, all your remotes for your TVs and everything are in that black bag. And your water heater switch, you have your functions on there. Right now it's off. Dead center is off. Your regular mode, your eco mode, which really just kind of maintains your water, keeps it circulating. Every water heater in your unit, in our units, actually have a circulating line that keeps it up to temp, so it only takes a couple seconds to get warm water. Once you flip that on, it'll be regular mode. You only want to go up to. If you take it down, it's your winterized mode, and what that is you can go to Truma and you can get a winterizing probe that goes in where the filter is, and that'll keep it warm while you're traveling down the road, and that way you don't have to worry about freezing. If you don't camp in the winter or travel in the winter, you can just winterize it just like normal, and then you won't need that function. But if you're traveling, it's highly recommended to get the probe for it to keep it nice and warm. The last mode is clean mode, and that mode takes about 2 hours to descale. That's all it does. It just cleans and descales it, and then it takes about 2 hours, and you can turn it right back on once it's all descaled. I'm trying to think on the rear, so you have kitchen, pretty much same kitchen. Everything's pretty much the same. In the garage, this garage actually has a side patio. It's a 47, but options in the rear. So your bed lift and everything will still be the same, and your functions on your control pad will be the same. You can turn all the interior lights off and on here. Back here, since it's a toy area, your exterior lights, security lights, so your garage ceiling accents, under loft. Water pump, just in case you need it if you don't want to go up front, it's still on here too. And your bunk lights. Your bed lift up and down. So to take your bed down, you just hit your down button, up button, but before you do that, you want to make sure there's 4 pins in each one. You want to make sure these 4 pins are pulled before you take it out or take it down. And then the bed will come down. This is when they opted for 2 beds instead of the sofas. But same concept, but just make sure your pins are pulled before you get your bed lift down, or it won't go down. Inside your back there should be a side or a rear patio stabilizer bar and steps, and then your loft ladders to get up. Functioning, I'm pretty sure you did have the radio in the rear. It's pretty simple as most radios. It is Bluetooth capable. You can set your phone to it and turn it up and down for your speakers in your garage. It's separated from the ones that are outside. So if you want to play music inside, you have your 2 different zones, so you can play your music inside, and not everybody gets to hear you this time, but that's for the inside. Your breaker box is underneath. Fairly simple. Everything that's in our breaker boxes should be labeled correctly and ready to go. They do a pretty good job on their writing. If it was my writing, you wouldn't be able to read it, but they do a great job. Your amp and your amp for your subwoofer in the garage is in the same panel. I'm pretty sure you had the same setup on this one. I'm hoping so. If not, we have just call the office if you have any questions on any of the lighting or functioning. We have a service lady that's really great at answering questions. You're behind your TV. You go underneath above your speaker is a pull wire. Pull your TV out. All your ASA in command panels are behind there. If you have any misfunctioning on your lights, you pull your cover off. There's a red LED light. If that LED light is flashing, you're going to want to reset that one. But you don't need to reset any that are flashing. It's rare that they do, but if there's a power outage, sometimes they don't like to reset themselves. There's reset buttons right here if it's flashing. Everyone should be a solid red. If they're not solid and flashing, just go ahead and reset it, and then it'll return to normal function. 12-volt fuses are behind the TV, so both sides. It has everything labeled. If you have anything, and if you do pull a fuse, that does turn red, so you'll have a red indicator light. It tells you, hey, something's wrong with that fuse, it's blown. And normally that's all it is. It just had a bad fuse normally. You just pop a new 15 amp fuse, and most of them are 15s. Underneath is your fireplace. That remote is also in the bag. It's a little teeny Furrion. You just go ahead and pop it on. There's high, low settings, your temperature settings. You can set it at whichever temp you want. You set a timer, however long you want it on. If you're going to go to bed and you only want it on a few hours or 30 minutes, you can change the color of your logs if you would like. Very warm, very nice unit. Pretty simple. Your sound bar is underneath the TV, and that remote is also in the bag. When it comes to the doors, the keys, the only thing that we have to remember is there's an on-off switch for our locks. So you have to leave that on so your key fobs will actually work and function. If one's not functioning, there's a reset. You just push that and hold the button on your key fob, and it will automatically reset to this handle only. And same with your passcode, and there's instructions on that on our website. outside. Outside is your outside radio. It has 4 speakers. We have 2 in the front and then 2 in the rear. In this coach they added 2 outlets. You only have, I believe, just 1. They added a couple. Underneath, you pass through. This should be a set of side slickers for your flush floor slide, which is your dinette slide. Your kitchen slide does not need them because it's not flush, it's on rollers. These just slide right up next to the slide out in the inside, slide right there, and then you bring your room in and out. That just helps from any rocks, gravel, no scratches on your floor. There should be a startup kit, a hose with a quick connect for your wash bay on the other side, a crank handle for manually bringing in your slide. So underneath your slide out, there's a 3/4 socket bolt sticking out, and that's for the opposite side slide out. Same thing on the other one. The front slides are cables, so you don't have to worry about that. And there's 2 access panels, 1 on each side for the upper slide outs. Underneath is your steps. Basically, there's a 110 for your inverter. Radio's in there too. If anything goes wrong, the radio's underneath. Quick, easy access. Your in command box. Let me turn the lights on so you can see here. In command, underneath that is your main in command box. So we take those nuts off, and there's 2 resets on those. If you ever have any problems of adding those or something's functioning, we can reset them inside that. Just take those 2 wing nuts off and reset it that way. The tire pressure sensors. This is the kit we get. It already has your sensors on it. Just go ahead and open the box, turn it on. It takes about roughly 5 minutes to read every tire. Once it reads every tire, it'll constantly read every tire. They'll have your numbers right here, tell you what they're at, what they need to, high pressure, low pressure. You'll want to set it to what you want, or you can set it to your truck. There's a suction cup in there, and you can set this in your truck with a power cord. Same thing with your monitor for your cameras. Just have to make sure the camera switch is on. On the curb side, which is your passenger side where your door's at, is your tank regulator. If you leave your regulator straight up and down, that will pull off of both tanks. So basically, I don't recommend putting it up and down, because if you run out of one tank, you'll know you have at least 1 tank left. So I always leave it on one tank or the other. The inside, pointing to the inside, is your driver's side tank. Pointing to the front, you can follow the hose. It goes right to this tank right here. So recommend just leaving it on 1 tank. That way when you run out, you know you have a full tank and how long you have to get the other one filled back up. That way you always have a backup. So you leave it up and down, back up. So basically that's all I do with those. In the front is our generator. You can manually start your generator under here. If you're outside and don't want to run inside and start it, same thing. You just hold it down for about 5-10 until the light turns red, and then go ahead and start it. Which this one needs fuel because we haven't done our PDI yet, but that's basically how to start it, and then stop it's the same button. Cover the slides in, make sure both are in, and then it won't come off. Underneath are your batteries. This tank is for your brake system, and your shutoffs, your main shutoffs for your 12 volt. This is your 12 volt up here. This is your main. And your switches are for your inverter to run when you're going down the road. Just go ahead and leave that one up. The other switch is your light. And then when you're traveling, you want to leave your 12 volt on and the inverter light on, that or indicate inverter switch on, so that way it will charge your batteries while you're traveling down the road. And your inverter will be on to keep your fridge nice and cool. When you get to where you're going, you don't have to worry about having to stop, recharge everything. It will automatically recharge as long as that switch is on. On this side pass through is your water box. Your city fill is right here. Is your fresh fill. You just hook your hose to that. That way you always have city. If you want to fill your tanks, have your hose hooked up, flip it over, and it will fill your tank up. Once your tank's full, it'll actually come, it has an overflow on it, so you don't have to worry about overfilling your tanks, because it won't. There's overflow underneath. Your black flush. So you're flushed, so you have 2 tanks, one front and rear if you have a rear bathroom. When you dump at your dump station, you'll want to hook up your hose, clean out your tanks really good. That way you don't have to worry about anything getting stuck in there, toilet paper or whatnot. Go ahead and run that for a couple minutes. When you're dumping, have all your valves open. Go ahead and flush it out real good, and then it's all nice and clean for the next time that you get ready to dump. You just pull your handles in and out. You're pushing them in, they're closed. Out, they're open. And to winterize, you just take your hose to your jug, flip on your water pump, and it'll suck it all the way through our systems. Now when you do that, you want to shut off the valves. You flip that up and it'll suck it in. But you want to, for your water heater, you want to shut your water heater valves off. There's 4 valves on your water heater. One is a bypass, so you want to open your bypass and close the 2 reds and 1 blue, because your 1 red is your circulating line, the other red is your regular line, your line in and line out for circulating into your every fixture. So you want to close your 2 reds and your 1 blue, open your bypass, and that way it goes through and bypasses the water heater, because you do not want winterizer inside your water heater, which is right here. And you pull your, once there's no pressure, once you do your bypass, your water filter will be just like this when you go to winterize it. So you'll relieve the pressure, make sure there's no water in there. Take your filter, and I always recommending when you're winterizing, you just slide it up here, put it in your wet bay. That way you know no water is in your water heater. It will not freeze. The biggest problem, if it does freeze, this tank, it holds about, I don't know, about 20 ounces of water, and it will freeze. So you don't want winterizer in there, because it'll actually ruin the components of your water heater. And you can, to turn it on, you can turn it on from the inside, but you have to have the outside on already. You can turn it on and off from the inside once you have this power on. You don't have to worry about turning it on and off every time. You can just leave that on. When you go to winterize, go ahead and just shut it off out here. That way you know it's completely ready to go. On the back side, we'll show you the water heater lines. Flip the lights on. If you have a 1 stage, which is the single filter, will be up here. Come down, the wrench is in your bag, I believe, and take your filter off. You can change filters that way. If you have a 3 stage, it's right here. You will have to take your speaker, move that, and then shut your bypasses off, change your filters that way. The line out is right here. Right now they're bypassed. So when you get ready to use your unit, you're going to open both these and close this one, which is your bypass for the water heater, the water filter system itself. Back behind there, I'll let Edgar jump in there so we can see the valves. 1 valve open right now, and that's bypass, and the other 2, for the other 3, which is your red, blue, 2 reds and 1 blue, those have to be open to function. Once you close the bypass, once you pull back the black, and you'll be able to see which one's the bypass. It's got a red line in and a blue line out. Go ahead and shut these down. Underneath are your pull valves. When you go ready to dump, you hook your hose to that, open that valve, and then go to your, hook it up to your station, and then go to your wet box and go ahead and open the other valves, and that will release it into those. You have a rear bathroom, there'll be 2 dump valves, 1 just for the rear. If you don't, then you don't have to worry about the 2. You can get the Y, so you can actually, if you're staying at a campground, you get a Y and hook both valves to 1, and then dump into 1 line, then into your system. And the pull valves for the rear are back here inside the box. Just reach in there, pull those once you have your other one open and hooked up, ready to go. You don't want to open them both at once, because then it could be a disaster. Your power cord reel, if you have a reel, I believe you do, some don't. It's underneath. You just push the button, it'll bring it in and out, and then it automatically has a release. Once you release, you can just pull it right out, and then you can feed it through there and go to your power source. To bring it in, you just hit your button, push it in. Your fuel tanks. The front is for your generator. It's a 20-gallon tank. Your rear is a 40-gallon tank, and that one, once you turn your switch on, runs fuel line. Actually has its own pump, own handle. Once you turn that on, hit off first, because it hasn't been on yet, because I haven't programmed this one. And that's turning it on. Let go. It's actually turned itself off. The noise is actually taking the fuel back out of the hose. That way, when you put it down, you're not getting gas all over. Diesel's the same way, same kind of pump, but it's a good feature. When you turn it off, it automatically sucks the fuel back into the hose. Once that pump turns off, you're good to go, and then no fuel will get all over you. Just tuck your hose back in, and you can use that hose if you want it just for your generator or your toys. Your gas, you can fill up both tanks, and once you're out with your generator, you're getting low, you can automatically pull out your nozzle, fill up your front tank, and still have a little, still have 20 gallons in the rear for spare, or for your toys, whatever you prefer. These are the vents inside, so when you're traveling, there's fumes. If you have a gas vehicle in the back, you can open your vents, and from the inside, it'll fumigate, get all the fumes out of there while you're traveling. The rear ladder on your coach, just pull the pins, drop it down, put the pins back in, and then you're good to go up the ladder. Recommended you do put the pins in when you climb up, that way it doesn't stretch. Then you put your ladder back up when you get ready to travel, and slide your pins back in. On the rear, latches, pull your handle up, turn it sideways, and then your door is ready to pull down. Latch it, turn it back. It's all set, and there is lock on those, so nobody can get into your coach while you're at the gas station or sitting and not there anymore. On the bottom passenger rear, there's a quick connect for gas grill or any kind of service that you want for propane. Most of it's just for your outside grill, whatever you would like to add to that. The only other function that I've not shown, so this one doesn't have the outside sensing center. Can't show you that. It's pretty simple. What's in the bag for that? And your jack system. In the front driver's side, all you have to do is when you get ready to hook up your truck, turn on the power, bring your fronts up to level where you would like to pull in, bring it down, latch it in, do a pull test, leave your jacks down, and go ahead and get in the truck, put it in drive, make sure it's locked in great. Underneath is your cable for your breakaway. You pull that, and your pump automatically turns on, your brakes are locked. Once you put that back in, the pump will shut off, and it will release the brakes automatically. If need be. Now the auto level, it's already auto leveled. I leveled it already, so once you turn it on, you hit auto level, and it will bring it to level wherever you're at, as long as it's not over a foot difference from the front, rear, side to side. If you have to manually, your right, left, and rears, manually do it that way and set it. And then when you're ready to leave, all you do is hit all retract. It brings up your 4 rear jacks only. Your front jacks will stay the same. That way you don't have to worry about your truck coach dropping. And then you can hook up and go from there. Other than that, that's just your basic quick run through on this on your unit. If you have any questions, please feel free to call the RV Factory, and we will get someone to answer any of your questions. I'm sure there will be, because that's just the way it is. So other than that, that's my quick run through video. Like I said, just go ahead and give us a call if you need anything. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.